Welcome back to whatever this show is. Today we're going to do something a little bit differently. I have 3 random games picked out. We're going to play all 3 and then choose which one was the best of the 3. First game, Cobra Triangle. There's the Cobra. It's got a little note here that says, "Get ready for the full throttle thrill of Cobra Triangle." We can see a speed boat and what looks to be some mines in the back. Is this some sort of racing combat game, maybe? It was bought in 2008 from Bookman's for $3, I can tell you that. And someone drew this weird circle thing on it. I don't really know what to make of this, but I hope it's good. Let's go find out. All right, game number 2, Pit Fighter. Alright, Pit Fighter. It's tinted in red. It seems like everything's reddish. Also, you can tell they came to fight because they're all almost naked. You can see the girl in the background doing a Mortal Kombat type pose. It was made by THQ Toy Headquarters Inc. And this one's definitely going to be a fighting game. I just hope it's not terrible. Game number 3, Dynowarz, the destruction of Spondylus. This cover is awesome. There's a robot shooting a laser pistol through a dinosaur's fucking neck. We can see a few pterodactyls in the background and a couple moons. And it was also bought from Bookman's in 2007 for $6. This cover looks great. So if we were going just by the cover, I think this will be the winner today. Today I played 3 games, the first of which was Cobra Triangle. Cobra Triangle was released for the NES in July of 1989. It was developed by the company Rare. The game is an isometric racing combat game. You control a speedboat that shoots bullets or cannonballs or something. There are 25 levels in the game with different objectives. Some levels require you to win a race. Some levels require you to save swimmers. Some levels require you to defuse mines in the water. You are able to get power-ups for your gun, which is very recommended. Occasionally you do have to defeat a boss, like the Cobra that's on the cover of the game, or a octopus or a crab. The game looks pretty good for 1989. Some of the sprites are a little comical, but it's easy to tell what everything is supposed to be. Just looking at the cover, I wasn't sure what exactly I was going to get. But honestly, there's enough variety and everything is fluid and controls pretty good that it's pretty fun to play. Rare did go on to make some pretty good games, and honestly, Cobra Triangle is a lot better than you'd think just looking at it. Oh boy. Next up was Pit Fighter. And what a giant pile of shit this game is. So Pit Fighter was released in 1990 on the arcade by Atari Games, and it was ported to the Super Nintendo 1 year later. You control one of 3 characters in the game: Buzz, an ex-professional wrestler; Tai, a kickboxing champion; and Kato, a black belt. You fight through a series of matches and eventually fight the Masked Warrior. Pit Fighter was the second fighting game to use digitized sprites, although the characters walk like they are trying not to shit themselves. From what I can tell, the arcade version was decent enough, so what happened in the transition from arcade to SNES port is beyond me. I tried to play through the game to show you more of the characters that you fight, but honestly I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't even beat the first opponent, and it was just aggravating me to death. I wasn't having any fun. This game is shockingly bad. It's almost impressive how it could fail on so many levels. It's the worst game I've ever played, and this is documented now. It may change as I continue to play games, but as of right now, Pit Fighter should be named Shit Fighter. It is awful. Do not play it. The last game of the day was Dynowarz, the destruction of Spondylus. Dynowarz is a 2D platformer released in 1990 for the NES. The gameplay is broken into 2 different segments. The first segment, you control Professor Proteus in his battlesuit with his gun. And in the second, you control Saborosaurus, which appears to just be a giant T-Rex Gundam thing that the professor pilots. While controlling Saborosaurus, you are able to pick up different power-ups that change the way you attack. Starting out, you can only throw this pathetic little uppercut, but you can pick up the ability to shoot a fireball, a laser beam. For some reason, you can shoot your fist out. I don't know. Each level is laid out the same, with you killing dinosaurs as Saborosaurus and finding the entrance to the compound, where you then get out of the robot and kill an evil computer with just the professor. Really, the only thing I can say about Dynowarz is that it's playable. It's not remarkable in any way, it's just average. It's also pretty easy for an NES game. Okay, so since I played 3 games today, it's only logical that I pick which one was the best of the 3. We already know it's not going to be Shit Fighter, so it's out. So that leaves Cobra Triangle and Dynowarz. Dynowarz has some pretty cool cutscenes, like when you're jumping into your Saborosaurus dinosaur Gundam thing. But the gameplay and everything else is just pretty mediocre. Cobra Triangle, on the other hand, has some variety. It's fast-paced, it's challenging, but it's also fun. I'm going to have to go with Cobra Triangle. I think it was a better game overall than Dynowarz, and I think if you were to choose between the 2, Cobra Triangle would give you a little more bang for your buck. That being said, my name is Jeff. This has been Freed from the Real. If you like this sort of format for episodes going forward, let me know. Let me know if you prefer the old way, where I just talk about one game instead. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.